Later today, Cheaslea Clinton going to be speaking at UWL, I believe. Can you still get tickets, Cheaslea?
Yes, the doors open at 10:15 at the Clary Alumni Center, and we hope to see everybody there.
Excellent. I know that you're getting out here to get people out there to vote. IWillVote.com, one of the websites you're sending people to. There's a lot of great information on that website.
Yes, so you can go to IWillVote.com. You can check your registration status. You can find your early vote or polling station because we just think there's too much at stake in this election for anyone to stay home. So we hope that everyone will vote by the time the polls close on Election Day. And I love being in and talking to Wisconsin because it's a state where you can vote early, which I'm envious of because I live in New York and we don't get to vote early here.
So have you been to La Crosse before, Cheaslea?
I have. I was in La Crosse in 2008 during the campaign then, and I'm excited to be coming back to La Crosse now.
I had the opportunity to meet your father back when he was president when he came to La Crosse. I was one of the local heroes, got to sit on stage with him. It was pretty cool.
Wow.
It was pretty cool to have the President of the United States standing there, and I had a chance to ask him a question, and I asked the question about how do you not say or when he's speaking, because he's a great speaker. And he looked me right in the eye, and he goes, made me laugh. Just a great guy. Is your dad and mom a lot like how they are on television, or are they different in person?
Well, I think my mom is just who she is all the time. But that being said, I have observed my whole life people say that they think she is sort of too serious or too cold or kind of too detail-oriented. Kind of when she's speaking or in the debates. I mean, I candidly want anyone who's drawn to public service to be detail-oriented. I think that's a good thing. And I certainly have never got the sense that she's cold. I think it's people mistaking her seriousness of purpose and her intensity of the work that she feels drawn to. So I wish that people could see the warmth that I have known and have just been so blessed to have in my mom and now the grandmother of my children my whole life.
Right. Is it hard to be in the public eye your entire life, Cheaslea?
Well, I don't know anything else. So I mean, I don't know what it's like to not be in the public eye, and I'm so proud of my parents for the work they have done and the work they continue to do. And that being said, as much as I'm in the public eye, I also do have lots of private moments, and I'm grateful to be able to have that as well.
You know, there's a lot of negative things that are going on with the campaign, and having your mother put up with some of that stuff. Is it difficult to sometimes put that stuff out of your when you're having conversation with, hey mom, here's what's going on, and to not think about some of the negative things that people say?
Oh my gosh, when I talk to my mom, which I do almost every day. I mean, I try to talk to my mom every day, and I mean, I think our conversations now are ones that any parent can resonate with. Like, all of our conversations are just about the grandkids for the most part. I mean, I have fallen so far down the totem pole in our family. It's like how are Charlotte and Aiden? Like, Aiden rolled over a few days ago. He hasn't rolled over again, admittedly, but it was like super exciting. He rolled over, so that we talked about that for hours basically, and because of course, like, my children are geniuses. Every parent thinks their kids are geniuses,
and they're the best looking kids in the world. Hello,
of course they are, Bob. Thank you for recognizing that. So and then it's like after we've been talking for a long time, my mom's like, "And then how are you?" I'm like, "I'm great, Mom. I'm great."
Hey, get used to it. Now when my parents come to visit, it's like, we don't even care about you. How are the kids?
Oh yeah, no, it's okay. It's really, and for my husband has 10 brothers and sisters, and
oh my goodness,
and my mother-in-law has more than 20 grandkids. So it also, like, we are just so far down on both sides of the family.
Cheaslea Clinton,
that's how it should be.
Cheaslea Clinton joining me this morning here on Today's Talk 1490. IWillVote.com. What's the purpose of getting people out there to vote early, Cheaslea?
Oh, well, we believe that voting should be easy, not hard, and for so many people who have to work, who don't have a lot of control over their schedules, which are most Americans, early voting is great because hopefully at some point between now and Election Day, and early voting started last week in La Crosse. Hopefully there'll be at least some time when it's convenient to go and vote. So we're just super excited to kind of share iwillvote.com as a resource so that people can know, particularly in Wisconsin, given there's different early voting in different counties, when they can vote, how they can vote, and also just to realize that it is easy to vote early. And if you're old-fashioned, you can still vote on Election Day, too.
Right. You know, I was going to say, if I had some buddies that voted already, and they said they're still getting the calls and still get the mailers.
Yeah, well, I'm sorry about that. We're not that sophisticated yet to stop emailing and calling people who've already voted, but hopefully we'll get there.
Is it weird to be on the other end of the mic? Yeah, your career is in doing broadcast. Is it different to be interviewed rather than interviewing, and vice versa?
No, because I think it's just such an important time in our country's history. I mean, I think this is the most consequential election of my lifetime. And although this feels so important to me, I mean, the work that I did with NBC was also targeted to things that I thought were really important and often undercovered and underappreciated as people who were doing important, positive work in our country or around the world. So I'm just grateful to have the chance to elevate what I think is important in whatever way that I can.
Cheaslea Clinton joining me this morning on today's Talk 1490. Have you ever had the chance to talk with your mom about how she would be able to work with Congress if elected? Yes.
I mean, it's something that we talk a lot about because she thinks we do elect a president to get things done. And I think that what someone has done is a good indication of what they will or won't be able to do in the future. And when she was First Lady and also a senator from New York, she did get a lot more done with Republicans and Democrats alike than I think people may realize. So there is the possibility of finding common ground. I also think it's important to stand your ground, but to find common ground, in some of the areas where she's already done work, whether around reforming the foster care system or expanding early childhood education, supporting our veterans, supporting our first responders. I mean, all things that she did with Republican support. And in other areas where, Republicans have said they recognize we do need to make investments, like around our infrastructure. So I'm actually quite optimistic that kind of when we move away from the rhetoric and kind of move to the governing, she really will be able to get a lot done. But knock on wood, we have to get her elected.
So with a father that was a president, a mother that's running for president, any political aspirations for Cheaslea Clinton?
I have no plans, Bob. I think to run for public office, you have to have a vision for what you would do in that job, and you have to think that you at least would have a good chance of achieving that vision. And you have to think you would do a better job than whomever was holding the job now or also running. And right now, I'm really lucky. I mean, I don't know how you feel in La Crosse, but for me in New York, I love my city councilwoman and my public advocate and my mayor and my congresswoman, my senators. I'm a huge fan of President Obama's, and I'm clearly a massive fan of my mom's. But if at some point, my city councilwoman were to step down, or my public advocate were to step down, and I thought I could do a good job, I'd have to think about whether that made sense for my family to run. But right now, I'm really well represented. I'm really lucky.
Cheaslea, I know that our time's running short here, but last question. What are you going to be talking about later today when you're addressing people at UWL?
Well, I'm going to be sharing a few thoughts about what I think is at stake in this election from our values perspective as well as from a policy perspective, and then open it up to whatever questions people want to ask, or if people have thoughts and suggestions for the last 2 weeks of the campaign. I'd be really eager to hear those as well. So I hope it will be kind of more of a conversation than me just talking.
What's the question that you've been asked the most?
Oh, that's a great question, Bob. I don't know. I'm asked a lot about the economy. I'm asked a lot about higher education affordability. I'm asked a lot about what you just asked about, like can your mom really work across party lines? Increasingly, something I'll probably talk about later today, because I just find it so distressing. Increasingly, I meet kids or parents of kids who've been bullied in school because of their gender or the color of their skin or their religion or their immigration status, the so-called Trump effect. So I find that just so sad as a parent. So it's really, there are like a few themes on the positive and the sad side, but every conversation is different, and I'm looking forward to listening to what is on the minds and people in La Crosse later today.
It's weird that it's 2016. There's bullying still going on. What was that website again, Cheaslea?
IWillVote.com.
IWillVote.com. Cheaslea, thank you very much for spending time with me this morning. I appreciate it.
Thanks so much, Rob. Take care.